A debrief of the Fermat Test 2020. Um, yeah, I thought that it was very hard. Keep in mind that this test is supposed to be solved in 60 minutes right here. And then I think I took way longer just to do those few questions, not even the entire test. Now, that being said, if you don't answer some of the questions, you automatically get 2 points for free for not guessing randomly. So there's that. I think for me, I didn't even do 23, 24, and 25. I attempted 23 and I looked at the answer. The answer did make sense, but I don't think I would have gotten the trick on a real test. And 24 and 25 are just like way too difficult for a high school level. And so I think, that's totally fair to skip them. Don't worry about it. We're not trying to get 100%. This is not a test. It's a it's a competition for fun. Yes. Okay, so let's take a look at the actual scoring. So on the 2020 Fermat test, we had this many people participate. The average mark is this much, and you could divide by 6 to find out. So most people got around 15 questions correct out of the 25. And in this table, it shows not only the correct answers, but also what percentage of people actually attempted the question versus not attempted the question, versus how many of them got correct when they tried it. So obviously the first section, part A, is relatively easy, which is why I didn't even do part A. And part B gets a little bit harder, right? And question number 20 was the hardest question on the test. Not hardest, but the trickiest. Because for statistically speaking, when there's 5, it's a multiple choice A, B, C, D, E. At least you should be able to guess correctly 20% of the time if it's a truly random distribution. But in fact, people have been tricked by the question, and so I think there's the design of the question itself is misleading. So I don't think it's a good question. That was the one with the removing a random dot from the die, because why would you it's almost as if he took all the dots off of the die and picked a random one and then put them back on the die. Like, that's the only way, if you remember the question, that's the only way it would have made sense. But yeah, if you were to take a look at 23, 24, and 25, what do you notice about these percentages of people getting them right? It's 20%. And that means it's a complete random guess from most of the participants. So yeah, I would say don't worry about unless you're trying to be super competitive, don't worry about these questions. And so here, this table is showing the student rankings. So let's see if we were to completely skip the part C, which is like most people would say would be the harder questions. If we were to skip them, we would still get like a 2 mark, 2 marks for completely skipping them without guessing. So we would get like a 6-point deduction for skipping them for each one, which means we would get a -30. And the total number of points is 150, right? Actually, if you were to take a look at here, 26 people, this is rank 27, 26 people actually got 150 out of 150. But let's say we were to skip the last 5 questions, we would actually still get 120. We would get 120 points right here. And take a look at like what your rank would be if you just skip the last 5. You would still, if you got everything else right, you would still be rank 1000 out of how many? 1,000 out of this many, which is, pretty good. So if I get my calculator, 1,000 divided by 14,773. So that is, and I did my one minus that. That is the 93 percentile. So you're still beating about like 93, 94. You're still beating 92 or 93% of other people who participated, right? So that's still pretty good. You're definitely in the top 10%, even if you skip question like part C completely. So, and even if you only got like half of the questions right, you'd still be in the median. Like you would still be somewhere in the middle. And so that's still a really good job. And just keep in mind that this is for the love of math. It's for fun, don't get too stressed out, because I think then you start to develop, we tend to develop a bad feeling about the contest. And that's not a good place to be. Like, this is supposed to be for fun, yes? But yeah, wrapping up, I think it's definitely a very challenging test. I like the questions. I like how they're like not like your standard high school kind of knowledge test, but this is more like testing your thinking and problem solving. So I would definitely do more videos of me as an adult trying to do these problems just for fun, um, and hope you're able to work through them with me and get better at them if you are in high school. And I'm looking forward to doing more videos. Let me know if there's any particular contests you'd like to see me do. I'm happy to do math ones. I'm happy to do physics ones. I'm happy to do the computer science ones as well. So, but that's it for now. Thank you for watching.